Welcome back, squaddies, to Sussex Truth Space. And thank you for tuning in, so hit that like button and most importantly subscribe so you don't miss videos supporting Harry and Meghan like this. A recent on-air discussion involving JJ Anisiobi, the respected journalist and former royal correspondent, has reignited an uncomfortable truth. While Prince Harry is relentlessly attacked for privilege, other members of the royal family have quietly used their titles for money, access and influence, often without facing the same scrutiny.
Eugenie and Beatrice are very, very similar to their parents, really wanting cash, all about trading in off their royal titles. They've been raised with extreme privilege. They have no idea what it's like to be a normal person in this country. So I don't feel sorry for them because they've had everything gifted to them. And as I say, from everything I've seen of them myself and everything I've heard from people around them, they desperately are driven by how high they can get in society and how much money they can make.
But you might say they were as high as it can get in society. I mean, the Queen's actual granddaughters doesn't get much higher than that. So you might have thought they wouldn't need to curry favour, they wouldn't need to kowtow to anyone, they wouldn't need to do any of that sort of thing because it would happen to them, not from them, and that they were already on the sort of cusp of all things that this earth can offer, you know, tickets to anything you want to see, flights to anywhere in the world, wonderful mansions to go and stay at, you know, all that kind of thing. So when you say your friends and contacts in the world of showbiz and in that sort of royal orbit say they were, as I think I'm paraphrasing you correctly, sort of out for what they could get.
Yes.
What were they trying to get? What more did they need to get?
So it's a sense of entitlement, which we heard with Fergie as well. So, for example, they may go to Selfridges on a shopping spree and leave without paying because they think, well, I don't need to pay. I'm a royal. Harry and William never have that same attitude. And there's still a hierarchy. Yes, they're very privileged, these girls, but they're not the elite part of the royal family. So it's a case of going to a nightclub, we're going to order loads of drinks for our 15 friends, and we're going to leave without paying the bill. That sense of entitlement, that's where they've gone wrong.
And you know for a fact that they behave like that?
100%.
100%?
Yes.
No question about it?
No questions. When I was a young showbiz journo, I would go to clubs in Chelsea and West London, following Prince Harry around. That was my beat, was to follow Harry.
Right.
I'd observe Harry and his friends, and they were not particularly well behaved.
Yeah, boisterous.
They're boisterous, but they weren't rude and they weren't as entitled as their cousins were.
Really, that's very interesting because I hadn't actually heard anybody quite say it exactly like that before.
The conversation started simply enough, but quickly spiralled into something far more revealing. JJ dropped a bombshell, saying the relentless criticism of Prince Harry is completely misplaced. He argued the media and the public are missing the bigger, more troubling picture within royal circles. JJ described a double standard. Harry and Meghan are cast as villains, while others are protected by a carefully constructed narrative. He exposed a systemic issue, titles used for leverage, not service, and a public kept in the dark about the true nature of some royals. JJ's claim was about to change everything. Vanessa Feltz, a seasoned broadcaster, was visibly shocked as JJ laid out his case. Her wide-eyed disbelief mirrored the audience at home. She kept interrupting, "Are you serious?" capturing the public's skepticism. We see the royals through a filtered lens, polished photos, charity events, grand ceremonies. JJ's revelations shattered that image, piece by piece. The audience was left questioning everything they thought they knew about the House of Windsor. The focus shifted to the Yorks, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, and their parents, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. JJ argued the princesses were raised in an environment where status was leveraged for personal gain, not public service. Surrounded by wealth and controversy, they learned to see their titles as currency, a tool to open doors and secure deals. This, JJ claimed, was in stark contrast to the ethos of duty instilled in William and Harry by Princess Diana and the Queen. The Yorks, he said, were products of a family constantly on the hustle, taught to use their royal blood as a golden ticket. This challenged the public image of Beatrice and Eugenie as relatable royals. JJ suggested their approach to royalty was fundamentally commercial, a brand to be enhanced, not a duty to serve. The comparison was explosive, exposing a carefully managed illusion. The Yorks, he argued, were taught to milk their birthright for all it was worth. JJ delved into the psychology of extreme privilege, where normal rules don't apply. Born into a world where every door opens, social boundaries erode, and entitlement takes root. He described royals and their entourages expecting bills to be covered, seeing payment as an insult. This wasn't forgetfulness, it was a mindset. Their presence alone was payment enough. The arrogance extended beyond money, turning up late, making demands, treating staff as invisible. Privilege breeds social blindness. They don't see their behaviour as rude because they're never told no. Vanessa was gobsmacked. But they're supposed to set an example. JJ's point, the public expects standards, but behind the scenes a different reality exists. This entitlement isn't just personal. It's a systemic problem, growing in the shadows of unchecked privilege. The gap between public expectation and private behaviour is vast and largely hidden. Vanessa voiced what many think. They already have everything. Why want more? JJ's answer was chilling. For some royals, what they have is never enough. Born at the top, their only fear is falling, so they keep climbing even when there's nowhere left to go. The desire for more isn't about need, but validation, proving their worth in a world that values earned success. Surrounded by self-made billionaires, their inherited status can feel hollow, so they compete, using royal connections to gain influence and relevance. The hunger for more is driven by insecurity and a desperate need to stay relevant. To the public, being a princess is the ultimate prize. But JJ revealed a darker side, immense pressure to maintain and enhance their standing. The thirst for more isn't just greed, it's a bid for relevance in a world where the goalposts keep shifting. Vanessa's astonishment highlighted the disconnect between public perception and hidden reality. JJ introduced the idea of a social ladder within royal and aristocratic circles. It's not about succession, but about social and financial influence. A royal title is just the entry ticket. The real game is about who you know and what deals you can make. The York princesses, guided by their parents, have been especially active in this world. They use their status to network, align with billionaires, and access exclusive opportunities. The goal move from minor royal to global influencer and business figure. This requires hustle and ambition, not just ribbon cutting. For these royals, birthright is the starting point, not the destination. Their relentless ambition goes unnoticed by a public distracted by Harry and Meghan. The real competition is for influence, not titles. JJ backed up his claims with first-hand anecdotes from his years as a showbiz journalist. He described royal entourages notorious for running up huge tabs at exclusive clubs, assuming someone else would pay. One story, a minor royal shopping spree, expecting luxury goods to be gifted and reacting with outrage when presented with a bill. This wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern of breathtaking arrogance. JJ recounted staff being sent on impossible errands, event organisers treated with contempt, and a general attitude that others existed to serve. This wasn't dignified royal behaviour. It was celebrity entitlement, amplified by a royal title. These anecdotes moved the conversation from theory to undeniable evidence. Vanessa and the audience could no longer dismiss JJ's points as speculation. While the press obsessed over Harry, this conduct went ignored. The contrast was stark and deeply unsettling. JJ's stories exposed a hidden world of privilege and expectation. JJ drew a powerful contrast between William and Harry and their cousins. He insisted the brothers were raised differently, without the entitlement seen in others. Diana and the Queen instilled respect and duty, shaping their royal education. The man accused of disrespecting the institution was, in fact, taught to respect it most. This contrast is vital to understanding the real royal divide. As the conversation ended, Vanessa asked the burning question, "Why is Harry the target while others escape scrutiny?" JJ's answer, "The media narrative is deliberate. Harry became a convenient villain. His move to America, marriage to Meghan, and willingness to speak out made him an easy story. Scrutinizing less famous but more problematic royals was harder and less profitable. The system, JJ argued, protects those who play the game and punishes those who don't. The press and palace have a symbiotic relationship, amplifying some stories and suppressing others. The public is fed a curated narrative that serves institutional interests. The relentless focus on Harry isn't just unfair, it's a disservice to the public. It distracts from tougher questions about where the real problems lie. Those who truly embody entitlement continue in the shadows, unaccountable. The conversation forced us to question everything we read about the royal family. The truth, JJ suggested, is far more complicated than the headlines, and the real story remains hidden unless we choose to look deeper.